welcome you to the 24th lecture of surface mining technology course. In this lecture, we will start our excavation technology with shovel, which is basically the after blasting the muck pile, how that is being excavated, that will be discussed here. Apart from that, shovel is also used for excavating the in situ rock also. If it is very weak, in that condition shovel is utilized to excavate the in situ rock material. So, you have seen that loose soil during the box cut excavation, those are being excavated by the shovel, and we have also discussed while we have studied the reaper, that time also we have shown you the excavatability index, where excavator can be used for direct in situ excavation of the rock material. So, let us continue with the 24th lecture. This is the introductory lecture. So, before that let us look once again the learning background required for surface mining technology course and the learning objectives of surface mining technology course and expected learning outcomes from a participant of surface mining technology course. And these are some of the textbooks and references which can be followed during this course. And for this particular lecture, I would like to draw your attention for the books of that Amitosh De. For this lectures related to excavator, you can follow this book, as well as you can follow these two books also. You can follow these two books also for this particular lectures, but a number of things have taken in this lecture from the web sources. Videos are taken from the YouTube, photos are taken from the Google Photo. So, let us retrospect previously what we have covered. We have covered the phases of surface mining. We have also covered the unit operations pertaining to the each phase, and we have studied the commencement of surface mining using the box cut. Unit operations like drilling technology is discussed, different drilling procedures, blasting procedures, these are discussed, and along with that we have also covered the excavation by reaper in the last few classes. So far we have covered up to this, and objective of this lecture series related to the excavation by shovel, or in which we will discuss mostly the excavator part. So, in these lectures we are having the objectives to understand the types and operation of shovel. We will learn the excavation principle of shovel, and we will understand the cost and performance calculation for shovel operation. So, these are the three main objectives we will cover in these lectures. So, the first lecture that is the we will understand what are the different types and operation of shovel. But before that, let us have one look about the different unit operations carried out in the surface mines from this video, which is taken from the YouTube. So, this machine is called drag line. You can see in which a wire suspended bucket is utilized to excavate the loose material, blasted rock mass, and to dump that at a long distance. So, this is the drill machine, and this drill machine is utilized to create a hole inside the rock mass, so that the explosive can be placed in that hole and the blasting may be carried out. So, you can see this is the operation of drilling using this drilling machine. So, this drilling machine is utilized to create a hole, and you can see while the drilling is carried out, the machine is allowed to stand on the strong surface. This is the drill hole is created and explosives are placed, and these are the surface connections using the nonel, and this is the bulk explosive truck is used to place the explosive inside the hole. So, explosives are placed inside the hole, connections are made, and you can see now the stemming is carried out, that is the sand rock mass is placed, and now they are going to blast it. So, you can see blasting is carried out, this is the detonating fuse part and you can see actual blasting is carried out in this bench. So, but this operation I termed that very unsafe operation, because these people they are not standing in the shelter, they must stand under a strong roof area, so that any fly rock should not damage them. So, this is another blasting, you can see the material is blasted and this is the coal bench is blasted. And these are the excavators. So, now excavators are allowed. See, these excavators are taking out the material and dumping that material onto the dumper. So, this is the transporting medium dumper, which is taking the material from the shovel. So, shovel is loading the dumper, the first dumper has left, the second dumper has come. So, this is loading of material, blasted material is carried out by the shovel. So, this is a common excavation machine used in the mining, and in this series of lecture we will basically do these things. So, this is electrically operated, you can see the trailing cable of the shovel. Now, this is the hydraulic excavator, which is diesel powered, and the movement of this rock this boom etcetera, these were in where rope shovel that was controlled by mechanical system. Here it is hydraulic system is used, you can see these hydraulic cylinders are there, which is controlling the movement of the boom and bucket. So, that is the procedure of operation of the hydraulic shovel. Hydraulic shovel is also used for excavation purpose, and this machine is called front end loader or wheel loader. Wheel loader is also another type of machine, but wheel loader is generally it is termed as the loading machine, because its loading efficiency is very high, but the excavation efficiency is low. So, excavation efficiency of this is called backhoe. This is also one kind of shovel or excavator. So, loading efficiency of the excavator is poor than the loaders, but the excavation efficiency is higher. And this is the dumper, which is taking that loaded material and going to the dumping station. If it is a overburden, then it is being dumped to the overburden dump or in the backfill dump, and if it is a coal or mineral, then it is dumped either in the crusher plant or in the stockyard. So, basically the material is sent to the particular destination, and this is coal handling plant. If it is coal, then the coal is dumped at this, and you can say this is a crusher, the coal is basically dumped into the crusher. Crusher is basically sized the coal into a regular size. Blasted mass is in general, we have seen in the results of the blasting, it is in general it is not of uniform size, but the sizing is carried out in this place. So, this is more or less the production unit operations associated with a mining system. Apart from that, there are other requirements like environmental control, safety controls, those are auxiliary works are also there, that maintenance of haul road, maintenance of the drainage system, sump pit maintenance, water management, these are also there, which are also basically controlled in the different unit operations, but those are the auxiliary operations. So, you can see this is the crusher is basically crushing the material in a regular size. So, this is the dumping system in the crusher, how the dump is coming and dropping the material into the crusher. So, this is the crusher, the material is fed in this. So, this is the general unit operations which are basically practiced in a mine. Now, let us look into the excavator. Shovel or excavators are the heavy construction equipments consisting of a boom, a dipper and a bucket, and cab is placed on a rotating platform. That is the generalized constructional features of an excavator. So, you can see this is the boom, this is the stick, this is the bucket, and this is the cab which is placed on a rotating platform which can move or rotate, which can rotate 360 degree along the crawler. So, that is the facility of the excavator. Unlike loader, loader is mounted on a steering system where loader has to move, but as it is a wheel mounted one, whereas it is a crawler mounted one, the mobility is high in case of a loader, but mobility is low in case of an excavator. But simultaneously loader is having very inferior, or you can say the low digging capacity, but its loading efficiency is very high because its propelling speed is more. Here this is in general it is called a mobile equipment, but this is a stationary equipment, it stand on this, it is allowed the transporting medium to stand in front of this, and the machine is basically rotating around its own axis and take the material from all sides to dump onto this machine. So, this is excavator cum loader, where it is mainly the loader only. So, shovels are mounted on crawler arrangement, poor mobility, wheel loaders mounted on wheel exhibits excellent mobility, but crawler being the crawler mounted, shovel exhibits higher digging force than the wheel loader, and that is why the bucket capacity etcetera for a wheel loader is higher than, mostly cases kept higher than these excavators, but these are having very poor digging efficiency. That is why shovel the digging efficiency is very good. These are, that is why applicable for the hard material, large sized fragments. So, for this, these are basically the equipment choose over the loader. However, for the soft material like coal etcetera, you can have post blast direct loading using the wheel loader also possible. In general, excavator is classified in 3 ways depending on its position of bucket and your purpose of excavation. So, this is the 3 purpose. You can see in this case, this bucket is having the opening in the upward direction, this bucket is having the opening in upward direction, or you can say in other way, it is in the opposite side of the cabin. So, from the boom, or you can say from the stick, this is the direction of the cabin, but the direction of the opening of the bucket is in the opposite side. So, the bucket opening is in the opposite side than the machine side. So, this type of shovel is called dipper shovel. Stripper shovel is a type of dipper shovel, but whose boom length is very long, and it is in a multiple of 10 meter, 20 meter, 30 meter, sometimes more than that also, and this is in general this is the type of dipper shovel which is used for the stripping purpose. What is the meaning of stripping purpose? Stripping purpose is means directly taking the blasted rock mass and dumping that rock mass to the overburden dump is called stripping. So, basically these shovels are utilized for the stripping purpose, and that is why this is called stripping shovel. So, this is a type of dipper shovel which is used for stripping, and backhoe is the excavator where the bucket position is opposite to the dipper shovel. So, in this case you can see the bucket opening is the opposite side of the machine, but this is called backhoe where the bucket position is open towards the direction of the machine. So, that is why you can understand that these machines are good to digging towards the upward direction from the datum level on which the machine is standing. From this level this machine digs well towards the upward direction. So, whenever some bench is there, then these excavators are stand in the lower bench and dig the upper bench. So, that is the characteristics for the dipper shovel, whereas for the backhoe the machine is standing. If this is the case, the machine is standing on this and the machine is basically digging from the upward point to the lower point. So, it is basically digging towards the below its datum level, then its loading efficiency becoming more. So, it is taking, the machine is standing on this platform and machine is taking from a level which is lower than this. So, this is the difference between the backhoe and the dipper shovel, and both are having some benefits and drawbacks also, but both the machines are very popular in mining and civil excavation work. Apart from that, because of the motive power, actually not motive power, you can say it is the transmission power. Based on the transmission power, it is classified in two groups, that is the electric shovel and this is the hydraulic shovel. In fact, it is not that the electric and diesel is the electric and diesel, these are the motive powers used. Hydraulic shovel can also be an electric shovel, there is no problem in this, and similarly the rope shovel can also be a diesel operated shovel. But the difference is that in rope shovel these operations, you can see in these rope shovels, these operations are mechanically driven. So, there is a rake and pinion arrangement that is allowing the movement of this in this direction. Then this is the rope wheel which is allowing the lifting of the bucket. So, this is the benefit of that, and similarly this one, this movement of this one in this direction, that is also being controlled using this rope. So, these are basically mechanically driven exercise. So, that is why this is a basically rope shovel is a mechanically driven one, but hydraulic shovel, hydraulic cylinders are used. You can see this is bucket cylinder, this is stick cylinder and this is boom cylinder. So, these three cylinders are used. Bucket cylinder is for rotation of the bucket, stick cylinder is for rotation of the arm and boom cylinder is for the rotation of the boom. So, these are the three cylinders used you can see in actual photograph, this is the bucket cylinder, this is the stick cylinder, and there is a boom cylinder, you cannot see, which is at a lower part here. So, these are the 3 cylinders which are utilized in this hydraulic shovel. So, that is why this is basically a mechanical driven shovel, this is a basically mechanically ropes and gears driven shovel. Here the hydraulic shovel is basically movements are driven by the hydraulic cylinders. So, that is the difference in these two. There are some mechanical advantages and disadvantages for both the cases, and this is in that case that is why these are having different applications, like these are having overloading, good overloading capacities, these are having poor overloading capacities, but operations are easier in this, wear and tear is more in hydraulic shovel. So, these are some benefits and drawbacks associated with each system of excavator. Now, let us look in this lecture about the rope shovels. Rope shovels are, most of the rope shovels are very big. In fact, this is the largest rope shovel. Called Big Brutus, its name, and you can see this is the 8 motors of 500 HP are there, and you can see this is the capacity, 90 cubic yard is the capacity of this machine, which can take 135 ton load at one time, and this is the largest excavator or largest shovel made in, I think, in 1960s. So, this is the very big rope shovel or dipper shovel. Now, you can see the operation of a rope shovel. You can see how this rack and pinion system is allowing this movement in the front direction, and this wire is being pulled to lift this bucket in the upward direction. Now, the bottom pan of this will be released and the material is released into the dumper. Now, again it is going towards the lower part and the bottom pan will be again, now this is fitted, bottom plate is fitted. Now, again see this is moving. So, this one is being lifted, this was is moving in the upward downward direction with the rack and pinion system, and this one is taking the material to load into this. So, you can see the loading efficiency of these excavators are very high. And you can see it is almost digging a very solid rock mass, a very solid rock mass it is excavating. And this is also allowing the controlling of the very good bench floor. So, you can see the angle at which this excavator is operating. So, this is the loading system using this rope shovel, we have already seen this one. So, these are the different parts, this is the axis at which it is swinging. So, there is a gear system on this, and this is the operating on that gear. So, this is allowing the rotation of the machine. This wire is basically allowing the lifting of this stick, and this rake and pinion system, or sometimes it is a gear system which is allowing the movement of this one, and this boom, this lifting of this boom or position of this boom is being controlled by this wire system. So, you can control this one, the angle of this one, or you can see the boom. So, that is the way. So, this is called crowding system, this is hoisting system. So, that is maintained, and this crawler system is there which is allowing the movement of the excavator in the both direction. So, you can say this is the beginning of the digging at this position, and these angles are being controlled for the best digging performance. These angles are controlled, and this is the excavation angle, and no way this portion is allowed to overhang. So, this is never allowed, that means this is not allowed, because otherwise this portion will become overhang. So, that is why the excavation height is restricted from the height of this boom. So, the boom height is set such a way, so that there should not be any overhang, and based on that the excavation height is controlled. So, this is the general terminology. You can see this is crawler, housing, frame, support cable, saddle block, hoist cable, boom, stick, crowding cable, hoist cable, bucket. These are the different components of the rope shovel, and this is also available. This portion, it is shown that this part will become overhang, and that is why this is not allowed. So, that is why this is, one must be very careful if it is excavating over this reach of the boom, that is not allowed. This can be this can create a dangerous situation. So, that is not allowed. So, it is no matter whether a diesel engine or electric motor is used for the operations, but rope shovels are basically mechanically driven operations which is practiced in the mine. So, as rope shovel is a dipper shovel, similar way you can have the Hardlick shovel also. So, this is the Hardlick dipper shovel. You can see this is the boom cylinder, this is stick cylinder, and this is this is bucket cylinder, this is stick cylinder, this is boom cylinder which is used in this, and this is a schematic diagram of the caterpillar, and you can see one operation of this Hardlick shovel, Hardlick dipper shovel here. This is also taken from the YouTube. So, you can see now the excavator is now the dumper is coming back to this towards the shovel. So, it is a shovel is a stationary equipment, it stands, the transport medium has to come to within its close proximity, so that it can dump the material onto the transporting system. So, transport system has come. So, it is dumping the material. So, now the door is opened, bucket in the bucket cylinder, the door is open, it is allowing the bucket to move. Now, the door is closed again, and it is taking the material. So, in this figure this machine is working on the loose material which is being dosed. So, this is loose overburden material which is being dosed by the from the upper bench by a dozer. So, it is only working as the loading machine and at this position. And you can see the boom is lowered. Now, the stick is expanded and the bucket is also being rotated. See, the bucket is being rotated, so that the filling efficiency can be increased. You can see the bucket is almost completely filled. In fact, you can say it is overfilled in this case, and now it is rotating. After rotation, it is placing its bucket using this boom cylinder, the stick cylinder. You see the stick cylinder is expanded to properly load the dumper. The hydraulic excavators, the easiest part is that a single hydraulic pump is used with a number of actuators, allowing the movement of the fluid from differential way into the different cylinders, and that is why it is something like that. You can consider the pump is similar to the heart of the human being, and it is controlling the pressure in the all cylinder. So, that is why the operation is very easy, only the operator has to control those valves, so that the fluid can be flow in that particular cylinder for its expansion or its returning to the pump. So, by that way cylinder is expanded and cylinder is also closed. So, this is the way this machine is operating. So, this is one video. You can have the full video in this given link. This is the way the hydraulic excavators or hydraulic dipper shovels are basically working. So, we will continue with the other types of shovel in the next class. Thank you.